Hello, my fellow Retrotopians, and welcome to episode 136 of the Retrotopia podcast, where we are talking Detective Pikachu. Welcome. Wow, here I am introducing another game that was adapted to a movie. But before we begin, please rate us 5 stars and leave a comment. Social media, you can follow us there. We have Instagram, we have, Blue Sky, Twitter, X, I don't know what you call that stuff. You can find it all at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. And you can also go to the retrotopia.dashery.com page, and you can use the link in the description of the podcast to find our merch store. You can either go there or you can click the link. I don't know, whatever. That sounded weird when I kind of rattled that off. Anyways, Patreon. We have a Patreon as well. You can find that on the link tree. You join for free and you get a whole bunch of stuff. What do you get? You can take part in our polls. You can chat with us. You can write in about the game of the week. You can write to the host about the 9-bit banter box, which we'll get to in a second here. For the 9-bit banter box, it's questions and comments and fun stuff. If you're new, you'll listen to it in a second. You get Quick Play, which is a short review series that we do. And you get Retro Bites 15 days early with an extra topic, and features more Joe, which I don't know. I don't know if that's a draw or not. I think it is. Join at the Hero tier for just $2 a month, and you get all of that other stuff that I just said. Plus, you get to select a game for one of us to review on a Quick Play. Pick your game, pick your host. You get a New Game Plus. That is you don't get a personal New Game Plus. This is a disaster. I'm not starting over at this point. Fuck that. You get New Game Plus, which is our new game review series that we do as we have time. So there's some cool stuff in there. And you get a shout out on the show. And we have a new hero this week, Dragonborn. Welcome. And a fun little fact about Dragonborn, he is a trucker who shotgunned all of our episodes and then joined our community. Welcome. You are a glutton for punishment, sir. But welcome. And he also joined our Discord. So we have I don't know if I mentioned that anywhere else you should join our Discord, because that's free also. And you can find that link in the link tree. If for whatever reason, it's a free Discord to join. If for whatever reason the link is dead or whatever, just reach out to us. We'll get you in there. All right. That was a disastrous. It's been a long, short week, I'll tell you what. Let's get things started with our general comments and questions section, the culturally elegant 9-bit banter box. All right, our first question comes from Philip My Mouth with Farts, who says, which do you think is worse, getting ripped out of a deep sleep by your alarm, or waking up on your own, possibly using the bathroom, returning to bed, and just as you get to the right temperature comfort level, your alarm goes off? For me, it's got to be the second. Just heartbreaking. Also, nothing beats waking up in the middle of the night and realizing your alarm won't go off for another couple hours. Man, I hear you. This is a particular problem that happens to me anytime I need to pee past 4 a.m. My dogs get up and go crazy like it's time to get up, even though it is not. I try to keep them, and myself sleeping until at least 6, but sometimes they like to start poking at me at like 5, and I don't like that. But if I get up, it's like game over. They're jumping up and running down the stairs. So I think I'd rather get ripped out of a deep sleep by an alarm, because it means I was getting good sleep. But if you want a hot take, I kind of like when I go back to bed after getting up too early and just kind of laying there and being comfy, even if I don't sleep. It's just like kind of a comfy, quiet time. That's nice. Anyways, I Pit My Chance said, what piece of non-video game media needs a video game adaptation, and what style and or generation should it be placed in? Oh, shoot. Let's see. Great question. But I was having a really hard time finding something that hasn't gotten some sort of adaptation. I was going to say One Piece, because I've been reading One Piece recently, but then I saw recently on the eShop that there was already a One Piece video game. Looks kind of cool. Anyways, I'll say K-pop Demon Hunters, and I would make it like an RPG rhythm game, and with the songs, and maybe they'd add some more songs. I don't know. I think it would be pretty cool. I mean, obviously, like a 2D HD pixel style would be cool, but I don't think they would do that for this. I think it would go like maybe cell shaded or something. That would be kind of cool. Anyways, yeah, that's my answer. K-pop Demon Hunters. Incredible Hooli says, sour smelling sock Sam, who is your favorite superhero and supervillain? Well, first, what did I do to deserve that name? Superhero? I'm pretty partial to the X-Men, and Beast is my favorite. By that same type of logic, I also like the Hulk. I just like super smart dudes that can go completely apeshit. And then for a villain, I've always liked Venom, but I don't know if Venom counts as like a villain or more of an anti-hero, but I'm going to stick with Venom. That was pretty cool. Right. Munchie says, Gaming Man Sam, with your recent love, in quotes, of Bubsy, I have a question for you. Would you rather play to 100% completion an Animaniacs remake in the style of Bubsy, or a Bubsy remake using Animaniacs puzzle logic? Both keep the horrible controls. Oh, you son of a bitch. I think I'm going to have to say the Animaniacs remake in the style of Bubsy, because as terrible as that sounds, at least Bubsy was just a left-to-right platformer. It's a shitty platformer, but it at least doesn't have any additional elements. I can't quite remember what stupid fucking bullshit you had to do in Animaniacs, but I remember it does allow you to kind of get to the end of the game without having collected all of them, and you just kind of can't finish the game. That's just, fuck that game. No, I would never play anything in that style ever again. Well, I don't want to say ever again, but I'm not going to play that one. And so I would do like a Bubsy game with an Animaniac skin all day. Ugh. The Big Deal says, what is your favorite word to describe a herd of animals? For example, I recently learned that a herd of zebras is a dazzle. That's fun. Just imagine them at like the club, like dazzling, I don't know, whatever. Dazzle of zebras. That's fun. That's easy. My favorite is a murder of crows. That's always been my favorite one. And a gaggle of geese is pretty fun too. But I also looked this up. A pack of beagles can be referred to as a trumpet. How fucking fun is that? They're louder than one too. I think that's probably why they call them a trumpet. So that's my new favorite. And I think with the addition of our third beagle in our house, we're gonna call them a trumpet of beagles. Oh man, thanks for steering me in that direction. I looked that up, and I'm glad I did. Blaine the Hoagie Man from the Retro Riders podcast. I've joined them over there in Retro Riders. It's fun. You should go check them out. Since you're enjoying the music questions, what are your top 5 lyrics in songs? Oh, that's a tough one. And this could change if you ask me later on, or if I think I'll probably shut this off and then think of a bunch more. Led Zeppelin, Ramble On. I definitely popped the first time I heard that Lord of the Rings reference in high school. The band, the song The Weight, that has always been one of my favorites. Alice in Chains, Man in the Box. Not so much just because of the lyrics, just because of the singing. Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. One of my favorite Dio songs. Not just like Dio the band, you know, the solo project, but just Dio in general. And then Tool, The Pot. I love there's kind of some double meaning in that song, and I think it's really clever. All right, next comes from Logan, aka Unbuckled Cape, from the Unbuckled Comics and Youthful Faith podcast. Go listen to those. Sam, what is the best Pokemon spin-off? I've been playing a few of them lately, and as it turns out, they're pretty fun. I think my all-time favorite still is Pokemon Trading Card Game for the Game Boy Color. I recently played that again, and it's fantastic. It's so much fun. Detective Pikachu is pretty fun. It's what we're talking about today, and Pokopia is actually growing on me a little bit, so I might play a little bit more of that tonight. And I've really wanted to get my hands on Pokemon Conquest. That has my eye, but it's quite hard to find. Alright, last one comes from Blue Yoshi 94, who says, Sam, if you had to play one Atari game for the rest of your life, what would it be? Well, I sure hope that it wouldn't be one Atari game and no other video games. I don't play much Atari, so it's pretty easy for me to say The Empire Strikes Back for Atari. It fucking sucks, and there's really only one level, but it's one of the first games I ever played, so I think from it's my sentimental vote. There's a quick play on it, and I still don't know how I even managed 10 minutes on that game. I think I might have gone for 15 minutes. That game, it sucks. It's not very good. Alright. Well, thanks everyone for the comments, and we are going to get into our next segment, Choose One, Lose One. What are the rules? Let's listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's Choose One, Lose One, the game where everyone's a loser.
Alright, first comes from Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, who says, I would like to have the voice of Ryan Reynolds. Alright, but you're locked in a room and you can only do Mint Mobile commercials. Logan, aka Mr. Unbuckled Cape, says, Gotta catch 'em all? No. I want to be a detective in the Pokemon world. Hello, Officer Jenny. Okay, but you're working the Pokemon Homicide Unit. It's going to be like friggin' Law and Order SVU. Alright, the Incredible Hooli says, I'll take the power of deduction. Bolt of Brilliance. Do you not have that already? Well, play this game and you'll feel like you do. Alright, Munchie says, can I get a fuzzy mascot character as a pet who solves puzzles? I'm assigning you Gritty from the Philadelphia Flyers. He is both fuzzy and a mascot. You did not specify that it had to be small. So he's going to join you, and that'll be fun. The Big Deal says, the only detectives I trust are the Hardley boys. I want them to use the powers of their raging clues to solve a real-life modern mystery. Okay, you solved the case, but all your raging clues made everyone uncomfortable and you were slapped with a lawsuit. Blaine the Hoagie Man says, I want a hat. That's a lot of power. I looked for some ideas, and I found a perfect hat for you. It's a leopard print hat, trucker hat. A leopard print trucker hat that has a built-in fake ponytail for some reason. Look it up, it exists, and it's all yours. Blue Yoshi 94 says, I just want a Pikachu. Okay, well, it's all fun and games until you try to give that little boy a bath. Super Dave says, I want the power to talk to animals, just like Detective Pikachu. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, Super Dave, this one's all too easy. Just let me know what your cats have to say about you. All right, thanks everyone for playing. Let's turn it over to Alan for this week's Gentleman's Interlude.
Pika Pika, Pikachu, Pika Pika, Pika, Pika Pika,
Pika. There we go. That's more like it. I'm Detective Pikachu. Yeah, that Detective Pikachu. The electric sleuth with the sharp mind, the sharper tongue, and a dangerous dependence on coffee. Back in 2016, I finally got my big break starring in Detective Pikachu for the Nintendo 3DS. The game first launched in Japan on February 3rd, 2016, before waddling across the globe with an expanded release on March 23rd, 2018. That's right, international fame. Try not to look too impressed. The masterminds behind my interactive masterpiece were Creatures Inc. and Nintendo, the same folks responsible for making Pokemon trainers obsessively throw balls at wildlife for decades. Instead of battling gyms or becoming champion, this adventure focused on something far more sophisticated. Me, solving mysteries while everyone else struggled to keep up. The story takes place in Ryme City, where humans and Pokémon live side by side. My partner, Tim Goodman, can somehow understand my speech, instead of hearing the usual Pika Pika. Convenient? Absolutely. Suspicious? Also absolutely. Together we investigate disappearances, shady experiments, and enough conspiracies to make a slowpoke raise an eyebrow. Gameplay mixes exploration, clue gathering, and interrogating Pokémon who are often terrible at lying. You'll question witnesses, inspect crime scenes, and occasionally watch me dramatically explain deductions while trying to look cooler than I actually am. Spoiler alert, I succeed. Unlike traditional Pokémon games, no one's forcing tiny monsters into underground cage fights. This is a proper detective story. Film noir energy, adorable suspects, and one extraordinarily handsome electric investigator carrying the whole operation on his furry shoulders. In short, mystery, humor, coffee, and Pikachu. What more could you possibly need?
All right, thanks, Alan, for that marvelous gentleman's interlude. And now comments on our game of the week from the community. We only have 2 this week. I don't think a lot of people have played this game. I think everyone kind of knew of it, and the movie came out shortly after and made it popular. But let's see what you guys have to say. Munchie says, "I'll be interested to see what the boys think of this game. I've never played it, but it was always a bit on the fence whether to try it or not." Well, I would say you should, especially if you can find it and find it for the right price. I don't think it's a terribly expensive game now. I got it for cheap, but it was a couple of years ago now, but definitely worth a try. Blaine the Hoagie Man says, "Only watch the movie." Well, if you're interested, give us a listen, play the game. I think you have a 3DS. I think it's worth a play. Anyways, let's get to it. You've heard me long enough. This is a quick intro, I think. I think the record for the longest Retrotopia intro, this one might be one of the shorter ones, and that's okay too. Released in 2018, developed by Creatures and published by Nintendo and the Pokémon Company on the 3DS. Let's get to Detective Pikachu. All right, welcome to the show. This week we're talking Detective Pikachu for the 3DS. And with me this week to talk about Detective Pikachu is my coffee-obsessed talking Pokemon sidekick, Alan, and my missing father, Brian. How are you doing, fellas?
Great, son.
That was outstanding. And I do really like coffee, so that fits.
I did take the extra time to think of that.
Brian is a father to all of us here, so
that's true.
Perfect.
I went out for a pack of smokes 10 years ago. It takes a while.
So it's not a mystery.
Case closed.
Well, we figured that one out. Yeah, coincidentally, if anyone's in need of any detective services, we've just recently solved our entire caseload, so we are free.
Absolutely, and the 3 of us share approximately one whole brain cell.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we can deal with whatever you want to throw at us.
I tell you
that
what,
brain cell spends most of its time in the mail going between us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I tell you
More
what,
well-traveled than I am.
I tell you what, you can use that single brain cell to play this game, because it's a good game, but it is. It's not too tough. It's a real chill experience. So let's kick it off with our any personal experience we might have. I don't know. Let's start with Alan, because maybe he played it before. I don't know. Any experience?
So only very little. So I had the 3DS back in the day, and I remember this game coming out, and I downloaded the demo for it,
okay.
and just had a really enjoyable time with it. Owing in no small part to just how great this game looks. And I just thought, you know what? Yeah, I'll put that on the list. I'll pick this up at some point. And I mean, it's telling about the backlog that it has taken however many. Like, when did this fucking game come out? I'm just going to look that
2018.
up right now.
I actually did look it
Yeah,
up because I was like, is this even technically retro for us? And whatever, because we make the rules. But it's
3DS is retro.
yeah,
it's
within 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, so it's 8 years ago, and I'm only just getting around to it now. But yeah, it's funnily enough something that I found when I fired up my 3DS. It's still on there. The demo is still on there, and Detective Pikachu. I just thought, what in the fuck is that all about? So I had to go and look this thing up, and yeah, so not much experience with it, but that's all I got.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
Ew. Oh my god, I have absolutely none.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm not a big Pokemon fan to begin with. Like ever since the Gen 1 era, I've not really played a Pokemon. Although I might be poking into Gen 2 sometime in the near future. But I want to put my cards on the table. I tried this game and I found it absolutely boring. I did not get very far into the game, so when I go through this entire thing, I am not going to be talking about the story at all. I'm going to be talking about the gameplay that really, really did not entertain me, and I don't even think at the end of the episode I'm going to give it a score, because I don't think it's fair that I come in here, don't finish the game, and then turn around and score it. It's not that it was a bad game, it just didn't interest me at all. So
Okay.
yeah, I was actually even thinking of just stepping away because I didn't know if I could really contribute, but I got enough of the mechanics to at least hold some part of the conversation. So I probably won't be talking a whole lot, which might make some people happy.
No, well, because then you really would have been the father that's disappeared.
Yeah,
And,
it's true. This would have started a whole, we would have had to find you and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, another one of those. Yeah, like when I stepped away from Rondo of Blood because I had nothing nice to say about it.
You were lost in
Yes.
Dracula's castle for years.
That's true.
Let's not have a repeat of that, please.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put Detective Pikachu in there then. Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll still have plenty to say because even if you don't finish it, I mean, full disclosure, I was too busy to finish it as well. And quite honestly, not that I didn't like the gameplay, but if I tried to play it in the evening and I was already kind of tired, it was like it does the same thing to me as reading a book, which
Yeah, it puts you right to sleep.
which is probably, if you don't like reading, you might not like that take, or this might kind of deter you from the game, but I hope not, because there's definitely more to it. But playing the first mission or two or whatever, the first couple of chapters, you do get a feel for the gameplay and how it's going to go. My personal history with it is similar. Like I think I had, when I got my 3DS, I had started looking around for kind of stuff to add to the collection that I could play on it. And the 3DS, I think still, maybe not so much anymore, but at least at the time you could still get new copies of 3DS games on like Amazon and stuff, and they were relatively cheap. I don't know if that's the case anymore. It's been a couple of years since I did that, but I had picked this game up because I was interested, because I had seen the movie, which, I mean, the movie is great. I don't think it did well, and I don't think critics liked it, but critics can pound sand as far as like video game adaptations are concerned. If it's fun and it has like a decent enough story and, visually gives you all the stuff that you're looking for, then Detective Pikachu is a really great movie. So we might mention that a little bit, but I just, I really enjoyed that. And so I knew it was at least a game. I thought it was a manga too, but I don't know that it is. Someone might correct me if I'm wrong or not. I don't care. But yeah, the movie was my main kind of source of knowledge about this topic at all. And then gameplay wise, like I said, a little slow, kind of puts you to sleep if you're tired. If you're not playing, if I wasn't playing it tired, like I tell you what, I was playing it last night and I played probably a good solid 2 hours, just like, getting through there was like a section in that laboratory. That was a really fun section. So, I really do enjoy the game, but, obviously didn't have time to finish it between, working long hours and the new dog and all that stuff. So yeah, it's fine. So I mean, let's get into it. So the game kind of follows a more of a narrative path where, you know, cutscenes and a lot of dialogue, and then you're using kind of clues and talking to people and Pokemon in the areas that you're investigating, so you can put together clues and solve mysteries. And the first mystery that kind of just gets you kicked off is some APOM, which is fun because that's like kind of what happens in the movie too. Some APOM steal this girl's necklace and then run off, and they knock over, like, one gets into paint and the other one gets into ketchup, and then you have to figure out which one had the necklace, and you know, you follow that one. But whatever, I mean, that's a very good introduction to the kind of gameplay style where you're talking to people to get clues. You can observe certain parts of the environment to get clues that way, and then as long as you have Pikachu with you, he is kind of your bridge to interviewing the Pokemon, which I really like that wrinkle to the, you know, gives it a little extra flavor to the gameplay. Because otherwise, like, the Pokemon would just be around and not really contributing. But Pikachu as your interpreter is a really cool way to get the Pokemon involved. So I don't know. What do you guys think about the gameplay?
I tell you what, like, I completely agree about, and I hadn't thought of this until you just mentioned it. But I mean, if not for that ability to talk to Pokemon, what would make this a Pokemon game? You know, I mean, they would
Right.
really serve no purpose. So the mechanic of having literally this talking Pikachu, and if you've seen the movie, you know how that works. It's a really clever way of being able to kind of question the humans and the Pokemon, and it's quite surprising that you get like different stories from different things, because the Pokemon are, you know, rarely gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
So that can sometimes be the rub that you need to crack the case. But I mean, gameplay wise, I really enjoyed. I mean, it is very much kind of almost a visual novel in some way. I mean, nothing.
That's how I would describe the game 100%. This
Yeah.
is a visual novel. This is not
Exactly.
a game in the classical sense of what video games are.
Right.
I mean, I would argue that it's still a game, although I understand it does sort of come up against that definition. Because, you know, you have a lot of freedom to run around the areas, and there's a lot of things that you can miss, and, you know, a lot of clues that you can miss. And there are some quote-unquote action sequences.
Yeah, little QTEs
emphasis.
that are
Yeah. I mean,
it's fun though.
None of which, they are fun, but none of which are at all difficult. I mean, the quick
No.
time events really just boil down to pressing A at the right time. I mean, we're not talking about God of War here. It is literally the simplest thing going.
I actually, just really quick funny aside.
Yeah.
You probably won't miss them because they're so, like, the circle is so slow. If anything, you'll hit it too soon because you'll be like, come on, what the fuck?
That's my problem.
Yeah.
That's what I did more often than not. Yeah.
Me too. There was one where I think I was watching a hockey game or something, and so I like momentarily lost focus, and I completely missed that I had to do the quick time event, and Pikachu is falling out of a tree. And it's so funny because it's like the game
Let
doesn't
him
punish
die.
you. You just kind of get an alternate take, which I kind of like. So there's no stakes to it. It's not like, you know, oh, you fucked up, you lost points, or you did, you know, whatever. It's like the Pikachu is falling out of the tree, and instead of Tim catching him, he just gets hit in the face with the Pikachu. It was so funny.
Maybe one of the reasons I wasn't getting on with this game is I just played Mixtape there for that New Game Plus, and the thing that annoyed me about Mixtape was there was no consequences to the game. If you fucked up,
Yeah.
the game would just carry on. Like if you got hit by a car, it would rewind a few seconds until you tap the analog stick just to move out of the way of the car. And that's what this game felt like as well. There's no consequence. So why do I even have to do anything? Just let the game play itself, and then, you know, find the codes by talking to everybody or find whatever you have to. It's just, I don't know. Like when I picked up the game to play it, and I'm going to go on my rant now, I sat there and I was actually kind of excited because I did like Detective Pikachu, the movie, even though I'm kind of like running out of love for Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds in every movie he plays. But I mean, I started the game and it started off good, and then I started talking to everybody into Pokemons, and you had to do the little bit of the tutorial to learn how to do everything, and then you get to the park, and then the game just kind of went so slow, and I was sitting there trying to watch F1 racing, which I really enjoy watching, to kind of distract myself, because I can do both. I can listen to the race until something happens while playing the game, but I found myself staring at the game, going back and forth, talking to everybody, looking for the next clue, trying to figure out why I really wanted to play this. And I just finally closed the DS and said, you know what? Probably not going to do the episode, but here I am, because I felt like I need to be the voice of those who really wants some sort of action in a game. Like, even a game that's a story-based game should have some sort of interaction where there's consequences that you can't progress in the game without completing. There has to be some sort of challenge, and that's what makes this game really boring.
See,
I see.
I agree with a lot of what you've said there. I mean,
Everything.
almost everything. Like, I don't necessarily think the game is boring, although at times it can drag a little. But it was actually legitimately a gripe that I had at the time, is the lack of consequence. And I know, we're not necessarily the target audience for this game. This is quite clearly aimed at, well, if not children, then very, very young people. And it might be their first sort of point and click puzzle game. But I did find the lack of any sort of consequence, especially when so you have these sections where it's kind of like the Agatha Christie, the Poirot thing, where you bring everyone together to solve the case. And at that point, arguments are presented, and you have to go through all of your clues to find that one clue that fits that situation perfectly to basically rebut that person's argument. And really cool part of the game. I really enjoyed those sections. But I did find that sometimes I would pick the wrong clue, and all that would happen would Pikachu would literally just say, "No, what are you talking about? That's not it. Try again." And it's just at first I was like, "Oh shit, I picked the wrong thing. I'm going to get a bad score for this." But there's no score. There's no there's literally no consequence or anything like that. You literally just pick through. So you could, I mean, again, I don't know if there is a certain amount of tries that you get, because, again, it's not difficult. If I fucked up, that's just me not paying attention. I found the right one and all was well. But, some sort of ranking or rating or I desire to be punished. Maybe that says more about me than anything else.
Well, even Phoenix Wright has consequences if you fuck up the case too many times. You lose the case, therefore you lose the game. This could have used that formula.
Yeah,
you could have been presenting all that information, and the game could have just literally, you have 3 strikes and then you're out, and you just have to kind of repeat the sequence.
I agree.
I was actually I was actually wondering about Phoenix Wright, because Brian, you've played that game, or at least one of them, and I was wondering if that's the same kind of narrative structure, but then also, I mean, you answered my question. There are consequences to it, and that makes sense, because it is kind of it seems like it's a tougher game. Like this is really made for kids. I mean, it's a procedural style, or like a investigative style, almost more like a point and click, but really geared towards kids. Let's be honest, and that's fine. It's just that if you're playing it from the perspective that you want to be challenged, this is not going to challenge you.
No, absolutely not. And I adore point and click games.
Right.
I was so excited to get into this, and I still enjoyed my time with Detective Pikachu. I think it's a fine game, but it's not a fault of the game that it's not designed for me. But I was thinking maybe I'm getting into something like a Broken Sword, or I don't know. Do you know what? I've completely blanked on the pirate one. Monkey Island, shit like that.
Yeah. Or Myst.
And or Myst.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
fucking
like
Myst. I still haven't beaten that game. I've tried.
Well, yeah, that's a little harder than Detective Pikachu.
And there's the consequences. If you can't solve the puzzle, you don't get to move forward.
Right.
Exactly. So I suppose in that sense, I can give Detective Pikachu its props, because it definitely made me feel smart. At no point did this game make me feel like an idiot.
Well, sometimes I think too, And what games like this need, unless they are just truly silly, like I'm thinking of like Day of the Tentacle, like some of the things you have to string together to make something work is just completely batshit, and like you wouldn't think of it because it doesn't make logical sense. But when you're trying to solve a mystery, you have to use logic and deduction. And sometimes I think there was, I wouldn't say like either logical gaps or just not quite enough information to make a solid statement one way or the other. So, I would find myself having gathered all the information, and then you get to the point where you're kind of, doing the wrap up with Pikachu, and he's like, all right, so, who's the culprit? And then I would think like, well, nothing that I really found. Like, you can maybe rule out a couple, but there's still a couple left that are still strong possibilities based on your evidence. It's like, there doesn't always seem to be that like very strong evidence that points specifically to one person, but then that's where it's nice that if you guess the wrong person, Pikachu's like, I don't know, let's try again. It's kind of almost like watching an episode of Blue's Clues or something. It's like, if you're wrong, they'll just be like, nah, try again.
What makes me laugh about that situation is that literally nobody else in the room can understand Pikachu.
Yes.
And that is literally, it's just like the film, if you've seen it. Like, Tim Goodman is the only one who can understand this Pikachu.
And they never explain why that is, do they?
In the film they do, but in the game...
Yeah,
I feel like in the film it's sort of Tim's exposure to... Now, see, I don't know if they call it... I can't remember if they call it R in the film. Which, again, is something else that I found really interesting about this game, is that it does... if I can go on a little tangent here. When I heard they were making Detective Pikachu into a movie, having only played the demo of the game, I was just like, what in the fuck are they playing at? Because that sounds like a really dumb idea. Like, don't get me wrong, I thought the Pikachu was cute, as we all did at the time. We all saw the screenshots when the movie was coming out. Adorable. But I was just like, how the hell can you stretch that into a film? And I was really surprised by how closely the film sort of followed the general plot of the game. There were a few adaptations and things like that, which made sense. But I was playing through this game, I was like, oh shit, there's the APOM, like Sam mentioned. There's the introduction of this substance R, which is making Pokemon crazy. So in the film, Tim gets a blast in the face of this R stuff and ends up being able to understand Pikachu. And I think
only Pikachu.
But only... I think there's a bit of yada yada and a bit of fluff there. It's just
you don't have to think too hard about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want realism in my Pokemon movies, people.
Well,
sorry,
you've come to the wrong place.
Yeah. If you want
go back
realism,
out to find those cigarettes.
If you want realism, it turns into like fucking Bloodsport. Like they're having battles. They'd be like bleeding all over the place and shit.
Yeah, let's not dwell too much on that. And Pokemon centers actually they actually endorse this kind of shit. They have a legitimate as you're smashing A to try and get back out the door again.
Yeah, like hope to see you again soon. It's like, why? You want my Pokemon to be hurt again, you fucker?
Nurse
Pokemon
Joy is a
centers
monster.
are based around American healthcare.
Yeah, basically. Oh, they are free though, so maybe
bring the money.
Not.
But where was I going with
this? They get their money elsewhere.
Yeah, so Tim's the only one who can understand Pikachu. So when you're doing those roundups and you just completely accuse the wrong person, they don't know that Pikachu's telling you to take another whack at it, so you must just look like the most incompetent arsehole in the room. It's just like, I'm just going to blame all of you until something shakes loose. And,
until Pikachu tells me I'm right.
Yeah. Just like, why is this guy talking to a Pikachu? Bit weird.
Yeah,
I just thought that was funny.
I don't remember. Maybe I just wasn't paying as much attention for the beginning of the game, but he kind of just like runs into this Pikachu that's wearing a little Sherlock hat, which is adorable, by the way. And he just starts talking to him. He's like, wait, how can I understand you? So I don't know. Maybe it's explained later, but I'm maybe about halfway through the game and they still haven't really mentioned why he might be able to understand.
I'm gonna take a crack at this. It's because what's the main guy's name again? Tim. Tim's mom was banging Pokemon on the side, and he got a little bit of that Pokemon DNA in him.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
Do you
yeah.
think Ditto's been working overtime? Could be.
Ditto turned into dildo.
Oh, there you go.
It's like
there's an image.
I'm playing
Ruining your
Pokopia
childhood
right
one
now, and
episode
Ditto
at a
is like the
time.
main character. So I'm like, oh god.
I mean, listen. I mean, I have actually completed this game. I played it all the way through, and story-wise, it does play out. I mean, listen, the film's been out for a fair number of years now, so
It's almost 7
Mewtwo
years
is
old,
involved.
or 8.
It was
It's
what's
crazy. I think it came out like the year after this game did. It's insane.
Did it?
Yeah, it was like
Really?
2019, right? When the
I remember.
Detective Pikachu?
I saw it on a plane, so that might actually
2019, yeah.
dovetail.
Man, what a turnaround! They're just like, you know what? That's it. That's what we're gonna adapt. Like, pretty crazy.
But yeah, you've got the whole Mewtwo thing involved as well, and the accident that was it Harry? I think Tim's father was involved in the accident, and they pretty much go all the way as far as plot goes. A nefarious scheme with this R stuff to make Pokemon go crazy and all of that. And Detective Pikachu has promised Mewtwo that he's gonna get all of the Mewtwo cells that are being used to create this stuff back, and it goes all of that way, except for ending the same way that the film does.
Interesting.
And I was considering, because they have recently released a Detective Pikachu 2 on the Switch.
Returns.
And I was thinking, well, how does that work? I'm thinking the whole way playing this game, how does that work, knowing what I know about the film but not knowing about how this game ends? Because surely it ends the same way. Everything else has been the same so far, but no, they do keep the ending very much open, and the mystery of where Harry is very much alive.
Interesting. Okay. So there's not as much closure at the end of this than in the movie. Okay.
But, I mean, consider how long between games it took. I mean, a 3DS game to a Nintendo Switch game, and a late Nintendo Switch game at that.
True,
to get a resolution.
And I don't think it was ever a full price game. I think it was like a $40 or $50 game. So they don't consider it like a full game. Because I think I was looking up how many chapters were in this to see how far along I was. I think there's about 10 chapters in Detective Pikachu, and Detective Pikachu Returns has like 5 or 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think they do consider it kind of a shorter little game. Unless the chapters are longer, and then the game is just as long, but...
Well, maybe. But, I mean, a game like this doesn't have to be all that long. I feel like it could overstay its welcome, and I could hear an argument that maybe this one does. What it is, maybe there's a few too many chapters and a lot of fluff that is not directly involved in the main story. But I think they do a reasonably good job then, even if you're doing something that feels like it's disconnected, they find a good way of tying it back in, while making all of these different areas quite interesting in their own right, because every area has its own mystery to solve.
Yeah,
and in some small way that does connect. Yeah,
I do kind of like that so far, at least. Like, each one, like, you solve a mystery, you tie the knot on that one, and it gives you a piece of the greater mystery. Ends up being like, what the fuck is happening with these Pokemon that are going berserk? But that's not really... they kind of ease you into that. Like, you don't really see the Apom go berserk, I don't think. I mean, they're just... Or you don't see what happens to the Pokemon that knocks out the Apom, which is, I think, maybe is the one that went berserk, if I'm not mistaken. But, like, basically you don't witness it until you see it in the cave, which is the second mission. So each time, it seems like, at least thus far, each time you finish a mission... You wrap up the mission, like, you find the girl's necklace, you give it back to her, but you also learn that, like, hey, something goofy is going on with these Pokemon and it's causing them to go berserk. I don't remember why they went to the cave. They went to the cave for some fucking reason. Maybe it was for a clue to where his dad was or whatever, but basically they get trapped in there, and a Glalie, which is that, like, round ice weird face floating Pokemon, goes nuts. And so then they have to, and then later on another one, But by that time, like after the cave is where they find that vial. They're like, okay, something definitely is going on, and
Yeah.
we need to go check out this research lab and see what's going on here. And then it felt like after the cave, like now the story was really cooking, and maybe that's what kind of took me a little bit longer to get into it, or why I was feeling like if I played this when I was tired, I was like nodding off a little bit, is because like the first couple missions were slow, and I think the mission in the park with the APOM was just too big for what you needed to do, which was basically like find a necklace. It was like find a feather of each of these bird Pokemon, and it's like the whole time it was like, that's a Murkrow feather, it's black. Like like, don't make me find all the goddamn feathers. It's a Murkrow feather because it's black.
I
don't know.
I tell you,
that one was too long.
No, I completely agree with you on that, because that is a genuine gripe that I had. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I had forgotten all about it. But there were times when it was so blatantly obvious what it was you needed to do, or what was the culprit. But the game doesn't let you have to gather all of the evidence before you can then talk to Pikachu, who's going to then take you into the screen, into your like your case files, and say, right, well, this is a situation. Who do you think did it? That one. Okay, why? Pick the clue that links to that. And it's just like, I know it's a fucking Murkrow feather. It's obvious. And I'll tell you what, the amount of time it took me to find that Puchaina.
That one that's in the it's
in the bush.
In a bush on the other side, because there's 3 different screens. That's why I was saying, like, the park was too big. Like, that, you had to find the Puchaina, and then you had to find, like, the Tailo wouldn't give you a feather. She's being stuck up about it. So, like, you could talk with Pikachu to these birds, and, like, the Starlies were dumb, and so, or, like, the P-Doves, I think, were dumb, and so you were able to find one pretty easily. And the other one, like, the Starly was like, oh, yeah, here you go, here's a feather. You had the first one that was already on the ground, that was clearly a fucking Murkrow feather, and then you had to go get this Tailo, and the Tailo was like, no, I don't want to give you a feather. And it's like, you fucker, just give me a goddamn feather. No, and it was on a table.
Look at it from my perspective. I don't know any of those words you said. You just said a bunch of like noises, and they're Pokemon. So now I agree that it was way too long, simply because Chapter 1 should be very tight in teaching you the mechanics of the game, and it should get you right into it, and Chapter 2 should be a little bit longer, and then, kind of space them out accordingly. But, yeah, I found myself running back and forth with talking to everybody, and you said there was a third screen, and I could only find 2 of them. So was that third screen hidden somewhere?
No, it's like the middle part was the fountain, and then off to the right there was a pond. And then off to the off to the left there was a pond, and then off to the right there was like a little cafe and some tables.
Yeah, okay, no, so I did find all 3 screens. But anyways, yeah, so I don't know, that's kind of where I got bored, was running between those 3 screens, talking to the same people over and over again and getting no new information. But I did find some feathers, and I know no fucking idea what I was supposed to do with them. Like, I talked to the birds, and, nothing moved forward. I ran around some more and talked to the same people all over again, and I don't know, that chapter should be tight. That if you're getting somebody into a game, you're teaching them the mechanics. Get it done quickly. A nice, quick little mystery to find that necklace, and then you're off to the races.
Yeah. I mean, that was too long. So,
I mean, when I found that fucking dog in the bush, like I was off to the races.
I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. Dog? Is that another Pokemon word?
Yeah, dog.
I'm trying to simplify things. There were birds, and there's a dog, and there's an electric mouse that likes coffee, and some dude's dad is missing.
Well,
there you go.
I think, and then the other thing, if Brian didn't find the little Puchaina, which I think you needed to, because you needed to get him away from the tree to get.
Yeah, you had to.
So you must have found him. You must have found him, Brian. Yeah, you must have found him.
I might have. I don't even remember what happened in the game. Like, I've blanked it out to protect myself.
This is where I was kind of just like, yeah, I don't know that all of this really has a logical flow sometimes. Like, sometimes it's a lot of just like, I don't know, like, how can we fit these Pokemon in? Let's just stick this one in there and see where they go. We need 4 birds, and then we'll do like a feather mystery with birds, and then we'll have to figure out how you break loose these birds and get their feathers or talk to them or whatever.
So Alan alluded to the game making him feel smart, and a lot of games do that by giving you kind of subconscious clues of where to go next, like lighting up the pathway or having a sign with an arrow or making all the lanterns on the wall kind of guide you as you go through things you don't really pay attention to, but that's how games get you to go to the next point. I didn't find that in this game. I understand it's a mystery game, but it really should just kind of give you the subtle subconscious clue there to move you to the next part, or maybe even something after so long. Like even cell phone games will let you get hints for an ad, so throw ads into this and let me get hints.
Well, there is one, once you kind of either hit a wall or do something, there's like little sub mysteries sometimes within the main mission, I guess, for that chapter. So sometimes it's like, okay, you're trying to find this vial, and then in the meantime you have to figure out how to open this door. So it's like, okay, you have to make juice or something, like I'm just throwing out examples. This is in the laboratory section, but like there's like a sub mystery, right? And I think kind of like the way that they do that, which is adorable too, is when the Pikachu is like, hey, Tim, and then you have to like hit the little thing on the screen, and then he like gives you a little debrief and tells you like kind of like, oh, we need to figure out how to find this key, so we should go talk to this person or whatever. But you can always tap on that little Pikachu icon, and sometimes it's a hint, and sometimes he's just like fucking around. It's like that flavor makes it fun, I think, because like sometimes I'll click that thing because it'll be flashing and he's just like fucking around.
Yeah, which I kind of half agree with you.
It's at least entertaining.
it's quirky and it's full of character, but there are times when I'm playing this game where that fucking Pikachu will not shut the fuck up. And I was just like, yes, thank you, Pikachu, for the 15th time. I know what it is I have to do. I just can't find the fucking thing to do it. And it's just like, it felt sometimes, especially later on the game, like every couple of minutes, like, Tim. I'm just like, no, fuck off, Pikachu. I know what I need to do. Leave me alone. And then, you'd click on it. It's just like, what? Click on him. It's just like, I like coffee. It's you little son of a bitch. Like, fuck off and let me solve this mystery. Like,
oh
Jesus
my gosh!
Fucking Christ!
I'm just so tickled by the Pikachu. I'm such a fan of Detective Pikachu. I think he's just fucking adorable with his little hat.
As a character, he's
my gosh,
he's so fucking like that gruff little voice. And I actually prefer the Pikachu in this game to Ryan Reynolds' version.
I was just gonna say, like, Ryan Reynolds had arrived by this point because he had done Deadpool, and like that stupid Green Lantern movie was a thing of the past, and he had kind of grown past Van Wilder and all that kind of stuff. Like, Ryan Reynolds had arrived at this point, and so it made sense. He was the hottest commodity at the time, and I mean, he still would be right now. But like, I mean, they cashed in. They got Ryan Reynolds, and they got him to play Pikachu. But like, I'm listening to this, it's like, Danny DeVito would have been a fucking awesome Pikachu.
Oh my God. It was right there. I was just waiting for you to pause, and I was just going to say fucking Danny DeVito would have been amazing in this role.
Gosh.
Can you imagine? Because
Pikachu and his toe knife.
I would have pushed through the game if it was Danny DeVito.
I would have too, yeah.
But he's just that gruff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, he's not like abrasive or anything like that.
No,
but
he's an old man. He's your dad. Like,
he's got a bit of edge to him, right? He's. Whereas Ryan Reynolds was more the sort of sarcastic, cynical.
Yes.
Like, this had more of a hard-bitten gumshoe kind of vibe.
It's almost like they needed that humor. They needed that like Deadpool sarcasm in a way that they could package and market for kids, because it's like, you're not going to take a kid, like a little kid, to go see Deadpool because it was horrifically violent and gross.
Yeah. Do you know how many parents did?
Yeah,
a lot of parents did. Yeah. Whoops. But this is their Deadpool. Like, this is their version of like Ryan Reynolds doing Ryan Reynolds as like a fun character, and it's kid friendly and it's family friendly. And it's fun and it works, but man, Danny DeVito would have been the choice.
He, for me, all day long, all day. Like, just give him a bit of like fucking Phil from Hercules. Just that.
Oh
kind of
yeah,
vibe.
it kind of does. Yeah, like he's a little squat little shit, and he's
Yeah. So that would have been the play, but no, I like he is just so endearing in this game when he's not pestering me for the 50th time.
I just
Like,
love every time between missions you go back to that coffee shop and he's drinking his little cup of coffee. It's just like
Yeah.
he's just
throwing
little
them things
Pikachu.
down.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of a bolt of brilliance. Like every time you just get that one clue that cracks the case, Pikachu will just
bolt of
do
brilliance.
His little thing.
Yeah.
A bolt of brilliance, and it just whatever's going on around him at the time just happens to react perfectly. The fountain will go off, or the birds will fly past, or just and it's just such a wonderfully dramatic moment. It's just that eureka moment. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I love it.
See, for all the pacing issues and some of the having to just run around and talk to everyone and all that kind of stuff, like when you wrap it up, like when you wrap that mission up and you get to do that bolt of brilliance thing, and he's lining all the clues up, and you're able to, that's actually a really cool use. And we talked about this a little bit with like Professor Layton when we covered one of those games, and this is kind of similar to a Professor Layton, although the Professor Layton puzzles were just brain teasers mixed in with the narrative, which
sure
is fine, but this one did the same thing where it's like once you have kind of the puzzle laid before you, as easy as they are, your clues become kind of little icons that you can click and drag and like visually kind of map out. So you are kind of making like a very childlike or simplistic version of like the like Charlie
Pepe de Silva.
Yeah. Pepe, yeah, who's Pepe Sylvia or whatever. Yeah, that sort of thing. But it is like, these are the clues I've gathered, and I've talked to everyone, and I've gotten these clues, and they're represented by little picture icons, and you can click on them, and it will say what it is, which is cool. But it does go to show that like you don't have to necessarily talk to everyone to get all the clues, and some of the clues that you get are just useless. You are just gathering information, and then only using the information that's useful to solve the case.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. There is a little extra there just so that it makes it a little challenging.
I don't think the comparison to Professor Layton's fair, because Professor Layton's a puzzle game with a story built in. This is a story game with a puzzle built in.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, but I just like narrative wise, I guess they both are just kind of more narrative based games. Professor Layton had that score attached to it, but I don't know. Yeah, you don't encounter anyone in Detective Pikachu and they're just like, solve this brain teaser for me, and it's just like, but why?
We're just obsessed with puzzles,
right? Yeah.
I mean, I definitely felt a lot smarter playing this than Professor Layton. Great game, God. But my God, there are some puzzles in there that just made me feel like a single-celled organism.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
It's like, hey, did you see this guy walk by? It's like, I'll tell you if you solve this complex chess puzzle. And it's just like, what the fuck?
She's like, please, somebody's been murdered. Can we just...
Yeah, this is quite serious.
But I do agree. I do enjoy the fact that there are red herrings and things like this in the game. They just made it a little bit. I mean, again, it's nothing that's going to be difficult or stump you for long. But it's just nice that they didn't necessarily hold your hand all the way.
I tell you what, like my 8, 9, or 10. Like I have my youngest is 8. My middle child is 10. It's like, or 9. Sorry. She'll be 10 this year. But they could play this and have a good time with it and not be too challenged by it. And
I think
they would have
audience.
It is the audience, and that they would have fun with this. Yeah, this wasn't made for a bunch of like middle-aged men to like be like, this is the best game ever.
But the thing is, Sam, we middle-aged men, we were there from the start. We were
true.
In the trenches. We were the first ones to face down the Elite Four and win. Like, we know ball. We know, well, some of us, admittedly.
I played the first one. I faced the Elite Four in the first Gen 1
Well,
games,
there you go. So you're with us.
Pokemon has always been targeted at kids, and while those kids have grown up, the games haven't.
I'm fine
neither
with
have
that,
I,
because
arguably.
because you know what they've done with like a Star Wars, say, is like they've tried to make Star Wars more adult for the people that grew up with it, and it kind of fails. It doesn't work. It loses the charm. So
Yeah, Star
I'm
Wars is
very
a
happy.
kids.
Yeah, you're saying that's a
But
decent,
there's your double-edged sword. Like,
yeah.
if you actually tried to make Pikachu, or not Pikachu, but Pokemon itself more adult for the people who grew up with it, it would lose its charm. It wouldn't
Exactly. Yes.
have the following it had. But Detective Pikachu kind of goes both ways. Like, what kid has ever dreamed about being a detective? And,
I did.
you know,
I mean,
okay, fair enough.
I'd like that. I mean, it'd be fun.
All right. I'll
I mean,
go
what,
back to being quiet.
I mean,
what
it's
do
just
you
the
think
move-
all those hours spent watching Carmen Sandiego were all
Exactly, or like movie detectives.
Oh my
like
god,
that's
that was
fun.
such
like,
a good show.
I mean,
Yeah.
Mario is missing.
Why couldn't
was
it just be
my
Detective
inspiration.
Pikachu finds Carmen Sandiego? That would have been a better game.
about? That's the crossover we all need. Sam,
or
sorry, what were you saying?
Pikachu found Mario. Mario is missing. He just
Oh,
wandered in there and found him.
well, that wouldn't take him long.
Right?
That is a one espresso mission. That is.
Yeah,
That's
not
all you
even.
need. This game. I mean, this game just looks fantastic, doesn't it?
It really does. And
That's one thing I will agree with. It is a very good looking game. The graphics are actually peak for 3DS.
100%.
which is interesting because as I asked you yesterday, Alan, I'm really glad you said something. This is a 3DS game, but does not support the 3DS feature of the 3DS. So you can't flip the 3D on. I kept trying, and I was like, I'd like to just see how much better this would look in 3D, and it just doesn't. And I think
Yeah.
you had mentioned that they didn't do that so that they could pay more attention to all that graphical fidelity.
Well, they specifically designed the game to work only in 2D because I guess it's something to do with how the 3D basically splits the image for both of your eyes,
Yeah.
so that you get that 3D effect. And
I got
in order to
cross-eyed
do
just
that-
thinking about that.
yeah, exactly. But in order to keep that graphical fidelity, as you say, you know, they just threw all that out, and it is a gimmick, and most of the time I have it turned off.
Yeah, I do too.
But this game looks fantastic for it. Like, it really, for all intents and purposes, looks like you're playing a cartoon, and a good one at that.
Yeah, that's true. It did feel like it felt movie-like in a good way at times, and yeah, like the first couple times I tried to turn the 3D on, I was like, that would have been fun, but you know,
Meh.
the more I played it, the more I played it, the more I thought, and especially knowing that they were able to do what they did by not trying to work the 3D in, it's fine. Because like you guys, I usually play with it off. You know, if my eyes are diverted at all, then the screen gets all fuzzy, and then I get motion sick, and it's like, it's fine.
Well, I respect it because a lot of developers are just like, right, there is this gimmick. How do we shoehorn that gimmick into this game we're making?
Exactly.
Whereas here...
That ruins so many games when they do that.
Exactly. And this, they're just like, well, no, our game's going to suck if we put that in, so we're not going to do it.
Right.
Sorry.
And they didn't overuse the touchscreen either, at least thus far. Like, you know, there's a menu. It's like, I can't remember what the information. There's like one tab for like all the pieces of information you've gathered, and then another tab for
You
like
got case list, case notes, and then you have like a
case
map
files.
and
the map, yeah, and then
With
the little
people
Pikachu
you
icon that
interact
you can
with.
tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like overly, you know, you don't have to have the stylus out all the time, or at all, really. To be honest, I just like extend my thumbs over and touch the screen. I don't really mess much with the stylus, although it is kind of fun to pull that out and use it sometimes. Yeah,
Well, my
but they didn't
stylus
shoehorn
is
it.
loose. So
It's
it always
what?
falls out of the... My stylus
Oh.
is loose, so it always falls out of the
Shit.
console, which is very, very annoying. So
That is
half the
annoying.
time I'm playing this game, and I've got the stylus actually in my beard. So I just
It's like a
slide it
beard-
into... Yeah,
beard
I
pick.
slide it into my beard, and then inevitably, every single fucking time, I'll go looking for this thing and just lose my mind because I can't find it.
You just like go back to work or whatever. You got this stylus sticking onto your beard.
100%, it's happened.
I just, for whatever reason, I just think of that Family Guy where Peter grows the beard. He's got a bird in it. Oh man.
That's it. God knows what's going on in here, mate.
Yeah.
All sorts. Oh, there's that stapler I lost.
Yeah. He's got a whole, just part the beard. There's all kinds of like stuff in there that you lost. Like, oh shit. There's my wallet. Oh man, what else have we got to say? I mean, we talked a little bit about the story, and Alan, you mentioned we won't go too into it. I mean, only because Brian and I didn't finish it. Alan did. You already mentioned that it doesn't follow the movie entirely. It leaves it open-ended, which, quite frankly, I like that thought.
Yeah.
Because it does leave it open for the second one.
The whole time, the game is heavily implying that it is going to go the same way as the movie. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's generally the running theme, if not explicitly stated. But for whatever reason, they just decided, no, you know what, we're just going to leave that thread dangling because maybe 8 or so years later we'll make a sequel when everyone's just clamoring for one. And I think it's kind of because that has to be what they were planning, which implies to me that they just kind of said to the movie, yeah, go on, you can just spoil it.
Right. And I mean, even so, like, even if I hadn't watched the movie and I didn't know, like, okay, full spoiler alert, whatever, like, if most people have seen the movie, more people have seen the movie, quite honestly, than have played this game, I'm sure, but Detective Pikachu is Detective Pikachu because there is some sort of accident that his father, Harry, has, and he gets kind of, like, I don't know, crossed with his Pikachu, or just like zapped into his Pikachu, or his consciousness ends up inside of his Pikachu. I can't remember exactly how it works, but like even if I didn't know that going into it, and it's easy for me to say that because I do know that, but
yeah,
a couple chapters in, you're like we're kidding, right? Like, this is his dad. His dad is this Pikachu. Yeah. Like,
oh, my
he has
dad,
all
my
the
dad
characteristics.
really liked coffee as well.
Yeah, like, oh, weird. You lived in this apartment with my dad and you kind of know where everything is, or whatever. I don't know. There's enough. That's a bad example, but there's enough clues of like his personality. And he's like, isn't that my dad's hat and stuff like that? It's like, it's his dad. Like, it's his dad.
It's signposted pretty
as
hard.
a little Danny DeVito Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a great reveal at the end of the film as well, though, wouldn't it? If just Danny DeVito just...
Oh, Danny DeVito's just, like, wandering out, like, gargling beer, just like...
Yeah. I'm a Pikachu.
Hey, I'm a Pikachu. And he's, like, got a gun.
Yeah. So anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah, I just like how, like, even though Danny DeVito's done plenty of wholesome stuff, our image of him is just Frank Reynolds.
All day long.
Frank Reynolds over Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Oh, there you go.
All day.
Love it. All day long.
The only other thing I mean we could really mention is the music, and there really isn't much to it. I mean, there's not like anything memorable. I don't even know what we'll use for the sound. I mean, it's like pretty repetitive, and especially as these I do have a complaint about the music. It's repetitive. They didn't put much thought into it because it's just kind of a loop, and it plays the entire fucking time that you're wandering through these kind of sometimes long stretches where you're just talking to people and like hunting around, and it just doesn't, there's nothing really to just like vibe with while you're doing all that stuff. What do you guys think? I don't know.
Brian, you got anything on music?
I didn't pay attention to the music. I just
thought I lost you guys for a second. It's like, yeah, the music was bad.
I just wanted to get, Big Daddy Retrotopia back in on the action.
Well, what can I say?
I sure
I'm
hope
here
that sticks.
To throw a wrench into the cogs every so often.
I mean, you're right though. The music is nothing. It's fine. It just I don't know that I considered it necessarily repetitive because I just wasn't really paying attention to it. It's just that incidental music that you're not really supposed to hear. It was fine, but it's, again, nothing that I can remember.
Right. It's just, yeah.
But if we are talking about sound,
yeah,
it is there. But if we're talking about sound, like, all the voice work is great.
Yeah, the voice acting is great.
It's not Shakespeare, but it's obviously not phoned in, especially Pikachu.
I mean, also there's Pokemon sounds. There's plenty of other sounds that I think probably, to be honest, if we're thinking about it from a, either an effort or kind of a space on the cartridge perspective, like you don't want to overload it with some great soundtrack and then not be able to have voice acting in parts, or not be able to have cool Pokemon sounds that you would expect, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and there are a lot of Pokemon in this Pokemon game, and they all show up, and every time you get a new one, you get that little cutscene where it's just like, it slowly shows the Pokemon and tells you what it is, and then gets back to business, which is cool at first. But again, by the end of the game, it's just like, I know it's a new Pokemon. I know which one this is. I have a 4-year-old daughter. I know this is like, what, Gen 7 by this point. I know the first 151 off by heart, but I'm pretty sure that kid knows all 1,000 and fucking God knows what. So yeah, I'm pretty up to speed now. So can we just move this shit along? Yeah,
right. Although I would say it is kind of fun, just kind of going through, because the game, I mean, the game and the movie have very similar plot arcs, but the movie definitely took it in one stylistic direction and made it kind of dark and gritty, almost like a film noir Pokemon, which was cool. Yeah. And they focused on, like the Loudrids were fun with their playing the music during the battle sequence and stuff like that, and you had the Jigglypuff that was getting all pissed off, and that was pretty funny. And I mean, maybe that has yet to come. I've only, after only playing 4 chapters, but I was always just kind of pleased to see just different stuff. That was part of what was keeping me playing a little bit, was oh, hey, what's going to come around the corner? What new ones am I going to see? And how are they going to help me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do see loads. And
yeah,
I like it when they're integral to the actual mystery themselves. My favourite section of this game by far was the television studio that you have to go to. This is late game. And you literally get an almost closed-door mystery involving a violin, and you have to go around everybody's dressing rooms and interview them and find out what their alibis are, and find out who done what and when they were, and you just get this one chatot that is perfectly able to mimic voices that belongs to this one comedian guy, and you're like, I've fucking got you now. I know why they heard your voice through a closed door, telling us that you were definitely in your dressing room, you son of a bitch. And then obviously I can't do anything with that information because I need all the other clues, and I'm just like, right, know it's you.
It's just
know it's you.
We're gonna call that trope is gonna be called the Murkrow feather from now on. It's
I love it. I love it.
It's a Murkrow feather. I don't need to do anything else.
God, I hope we remember that.
It's like Wheel of Fortune. You find the thing that is the correct thing. It's I'd like to solve the puzzle, but you can't.
Please let me solve the puzzle. I'm very clever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Do you have much else to say, or should we kind of wrap this up?
I think I'm good. Without going into specific details about all the individual mysteries, and with a puzzle game, you shouldn't, because I think, I mean,
there's a bit of spoiling involved if you haven't played it and would want to play it. We ran down a couple examples of things, and you get the gist of the gameplay. But I mean, we wouldn't be doing anyone any favors if we said it was a great game and then told you all the stuff that happens.
Exactly. That's kind of the thing with a puzzle game. Really, you can't really go too deep in the puzzles.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this up and give our final thoughts. I'm going to start with because Brian, I know, and you've been quiet, but that's because you've kind of voiced your opinion early, and you did acknowledge that you would kind of bow out for a little bit. But what are your thoughts on this game? And I think you were going to give it kind of an incomplete score, but still give it a score. Give it a score.
I'm not going to give it a score. I'm not going to rate it. I'm just simply going to say this is the game designed for Pokemon fans, diehard Pokemon fans, or Pokemon fans that are trying to get their kids into Pokemon. it's not a game for somebody who's not part of that culture, and I am just not part of Pokemon. And like, I don't get me wrong, like Gen 1, the Pokemon's on Game Boy, I absolutely loved. I don't know why I didn't play Gen 2, but I just never got into them. I think it might have been because I was in training at the time, and it just wasn't ever a good time for me to sit down and play video games for long periods of time. So I never got into the whole Pokemon thing. I know a lot of our audience is like Pokeheads or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what the fandom's called. But this game is not something that's really good for somebody outside of that fandom. And that's my biggest problem. It's a gorgeously graphically gorgeous game, and I imagine like if you're into the lore, this would be a fantastic game. But for me, it just absolutely wasn't. So I'm not going to give it a score. I'm going to step away because I don't think it's fair that I didn't really even get past chapter 1, and I sit there and score the game like I'm some sort of, knowledgeable person about it. So I'm just gonna that's my opinion. My opinion is if you're into Pokemon, this game might be for you. If you're fair weather or less on Pokemon, then probably not.
Okay, that's fair. It's so Brian scores it an incomplete. That might be our first incomplete of the whole show, but that's okay.
There you
I
go.
mean,
History made.
we still appreciate you coming on and giving your thoughts.
Everything Pokemon is dumb. No, I'm just kidding. don't kill me.
We just lost half our audience.
No, it's
All of the Pokemaniacs, brother.
well. I will say, like not everyone likes everything. Like I didn't get on with BioShock.
Yeah.
I didn't even love Infinite, so like that was considered a bit more accessible, and I still just didn't like it. It just wasn't. It's not that it's a bad game; it just didn't click with me. And yeah, all of us have that game where it's like, yeah, you know what? It's just not my cup of tea or cup of coffee. So,
Hey-oh.
Alan, what do you think? Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu, and I'm going to try and put out of mind the reminder of the BioShock Infinite betrayal, because I hadn't thought about that in a while, and it still hurts. It still hurts. I mean, there's a lot of truth in what Brian said, to be honest with you, and I think that's the case with a lot of Pokemon games that aren't the mainline series. A lot of these games, when you go off into the weeds, are specifically designed for Pokemaniacs, if you like. It's because nobody is going to necessarily pick up, I don't know, a Pokemon fucking, I'm just trying to think, Conquest or something like that, or a Detective Pikachu, if they're not already a fan of the series. Because what these games do is just that there is a lot of fan service, and this game has that as well. I mean, at one point I found a certain Pikachu in the game who was very, very familiar, which I absolutely loved, by the way.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, graphically, it's stunning. It's a great looking game. It's so charming and well animated and well acted and well voice acted, and it makes sense, even if it didn't then, how this became a movie. I mean, I could see it becoming a series, an animated series, because it feels like that's what the game wants to be. It wants to be like a visual feast for the eye. It wants to be not necessarily a game. And we said earlier on, it is a game, very much so, but it is a game designed for young children. I think around that sort of 10 years old age range is absolutely perfect, because it is teaching babies first deductive reasoning and stuff like that. And it is fun to solve cases, and it is fun to find all these clues and interact with all of these different Pokemon. The ability to use Detective Pikachu to translate for Pokemon is an absolutely genius touch. And if you lay it out there, you've got a Pikachu, it can talk. Like, we know what happens when Ash's Pikachu talks. It happened in that one movie, and everyone thought it was fucking stupid, because it was. But having this Pikachu talk, yeah, I know, right? We all tried to. Having this Pikachu talk and be your conduit for the Pokemon is just a masterstroke, and it kind of feels like that's what the whole concept was built around. I don't know. It's a game that's really designed to be played in chunks. Like, solve a case, put it down for a while, pick it up again. You're not going to have forgotten anything, how the game plays, or anything like that. It is literally the easiest game in the world. And some might argue that that is boring, and I'll hear that argument. Like, I didn't always necessarily feel like diving into the next case, because I was just like, oh, you know, I've just solved that one. I'm going to play something else for a bit now and come back to it. But the story was compelling enough that it kept me going, even if I sort of already knew where it was going because of the movie. So yeah, I think I'm just... It's a good game, and I think people should... I don't know how you'd play it, because 3DS, most games are kind of locked on there now. I think I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. You know, it's a good game, not a great game, but it is a good game.
Nice. What was that, 7?
7. I'll give it a 7.
Okay, 7.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to be quick with mine because I think I probably did my criticisms and gushing over it already. But it's a solid game. It is a bit simple, but I think I gave it kind of a bit more leeway. I mean, it's never a good sign if you're playing a video game and you fall asleep. So yeah, it is what it is. But I mean, I just kind of approach it from what it is, which is, Brian is correct. If you are a Pokemon fan, you will get, this game will tickle your nips. I mean, it's fun. It's got all kinds of little fun Easter eggs. It's fun to see. And part of why people liked Detective Pikachu the movie was that you got to see Pokemon and people interacting in like a regular environment. Like this, you know, they have ones that work at the laboratory, and they have like a little timber moving service. Like, that's fun stuff, you know. So I will keep playing this to finish it and get the story and kind of just experience more of it, because I am enjoying it. But it is a very low key time. Like, don't expect to challenge yourself. You know, really give yourself time. It's more to be experienced than it is to actually play. And you know, we mentioned, you know, it not having stakes. There, you don't really get punished for failing, which is nice sometimes. You know, pacing wise, pacing isn't always the greatest, but you know, in a game like this, I think there are always going to be sections that feel long or longer than they should. So I'm not going to ding it too hard for that. I don't know. My score is also incomplete, but I'll give it a number. I am enjoying myself with it, and I'm going to continue playing. I think it's a good solid 8. It's just a really fun game. It's a fun experience, and I will play Detective Pikachu Returns. I also have a copy of that. I just think it's a shame that this is locked away on the 3DS. They really should. I mean, maybe they do have plans down the line to give this kind of a refinish and a re-release. Maybe there is a dual screen attachment coming for the Switch 2. I don't know. Whatever. Like, that's down the line. But for now, unfortunately, it is locked away on the 3DS. So, I mean, the only way to really experience the story, I guess, would be to watch the movie, which ends differently, like we mentioned. But I mean, Detective Pikachu Returns is out there. I don't really know what that's all about, but maybe I'll play that and do a quick play on it and let everyone know. But I don't know. It's fun. It's a good solid.
I definitely have that one on my radar as well. And
yeah,
it's kind of... It is kind of baffling to me that they released that when, let's be honest, like, not many of your audience necessarily played the first one. I don't know how well this game sold, but could they not have, like, I don't know, put a digital download on the Pikachu Returns? I mean, I'm sure you could figure out with a game like this, it doesn't use the 3D, and the touchscreen thing is not that difficult to figure out on
it's
a
not
Switch,
integral.
I'm sure.
Yeah, you could always flip to that screen and do something similar, but it's not. It's not.
It just feels like if you're releasing a sequel, why would you not make the original more accessible?
Right. I don't know.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. Oh well. Well, one of these days I'm gonna get to it. I might jump right into it because I mean it is a very. It's not a heavy lift to play this game.
No.
So I don't know. I had a fun time with it. I'm going to continue to have a fun time with it, unless something drastic changes that changes my opinion. I think it's a solid little game, and it's kind of fun. So I don't know. So that's an incomplete, a 7, and an 8 for Detective Pikachu. Well, we discussed yesterday how confused we are with our own schedule. What do we have next?
Next,
Super Mario Land 2.
that's
Okay, that's right. Back in time to Super Mario Land 2.
Yeah,
that one
Super
at least
Mario
is easy.
Land 2, which we recorded yesterday,
Right.
is coming out after this one, but before the Assassin's Creed ranking list that we mentioned at the end of the Super Mario Land episode.
So basically, I'm just going to go and like lie on a beach or around a pool drinking beer for a while and let you guys figure all this shit out. And
That's cool.
thank
That's
you.
right. It's all Alan's fault.
It is all
Well-
my fault. And thank you for being so patient with me.
Hey,
No.
that's all right. We do what we do.
I wanted to get involved. I wanted to get involved in these games. I didn't want to miss out on any of the fun. I wanted to be selfish.
Well, that at least makes the transition easy. We already talked about it. It was very enjoyable talking with you guys about that game, Super Mario Land 2, and this game, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Until next time, have a sip of coffee, and I don't know. Did you know that hat is called a deer stalker? That's a weird.
not.
I always just called it a Sherlock Holmes hat, but I guess the official term is a deer stalker. It's like an old timey hunting hat. Anyways,
I did not know that. Sam,
Yeah.
that was a bolt of brilliance.